Thank you, madam. Thank you, chairpersons. I would start my topic. This is screening guidelines for ROP. We all know that with improved survival of very low birth infants in India, retinopathy of prematurity is a significant cause of visual impairment. It has economic as well as social implications, which are severe and of longer duration in terms of blind years. But then again, early and prompt treatment offers a very high success rate in management of ROP. And hence, a very good screening program with clear guidelines in place is very important for detection and treatment of ROP. So, what should be the aim of the screening? As we all know that it has a window of opportunity in case of ROP that is between 32 weeks to 42 weeks. Hence, so the foremost aim of the screening is to detect all treatable neonates at the right time. On the other side, it should also keep the volume of the screening under control so as to not to waste time in screening those who are not likely to develop ROP or a severe disease. So, during formulating all these guidelines, which are the factors we have to consider, especially in Indian scenario? First of all, low birth weight and low gestational age are the two important risk factors of ROP. Then presence of risk factors, as we all know, like RDS, sepsis, multiple blood transfusion, multiple births, apneic episodes, IVH, etc., are again risk factors. Then, especially in India, occurrence of treatable disease in larger babies also has to be considered when we are deciding upon the screening guidelines. Then also the second factor is difficulty in accurate calculation of the PCA, especially in a country like ours. And then again, better understanding of zone 1 disease and APROP with higher chances of progression to site-threatening ROP. Also, availability of resources, awareness, variable presentations further make the task very, very complex. Hence, the screening guidelines may differ in different countries. Today, we'll focus on screening guidelines as far as India is concerned. Now, screening guidelines in India will see whom to screen, when to screen, and where to screen. So the government of India set up a national ROP task force, which commissioned a group of experts representing neonatal care, eye care, public health experts, and program managers. They were assigned a job to develop operational guidelines for ROP. They considered several factors in preparing the guidelines, developed India-specific strategies and protocols to implement ROP services in India. Considering factors specific to India, the screening factors criteria has been kept very broad. So we come to whom to screen. All infants born at 34 weeks or less gestational age. All infants weighing 2000 grams or less at birth. All infants born at more than 34 weeks of gestational age, but with the discretion of neonatologist, if is associated with risk factors, that can also be a candidate for screening. Now, when to screen? Basically, the timing is decided like first screening should be scheduled at a time when the early stage of ROP is visible. At the same time, the stage is not so advanced such that therapy cannot be carried out. So the first examination at 32 weeks of PCA or 4 weeks after birth. No need to examine in first 2 weeks. If there is a problem in calculating PCA, to examine all eligible neonates at 4 weeks or before 30 days of birth. In cases of very low birth weight neonates, that is less than 1200 gram or GA less than 28 weeks, early screening between 2 to 3 weeks is recommended. Now, when to screen again, preferably in SNCU or NICU before discharge. If the neonate is discharged, screening can be done in ophthalmologist clinic where required facilities or patient can be followed up in SNCU or an NICU. Screening to be done with an indirect ophthalmoscope by trained ophthalmologist or a retinal imaging using a wide field camera by trained personnel. Screening team should visit the screening center on the same day of the week and the same time so that the discharged babies can be brought back for the screening if required. Now, we have to take one of these 3 decisions at the end of each screening. No further screening required if the retina is mature or the ROP has regressed spontaneously. Further screening at less than 1 week, 2 weeks, if the retina is immature or the ROP is present, or we have to decide whether the baby requires the treatment. Then documentation and communication. Findings and the management decision at each screening must be recorded in the medical records. The date of the next screening, if needed, must be documented in the discharge medical records and discharge summary. And the date for next screening must be communicated to the parents verbally and also in writing. Now, slight difference in guidelines as far as American Academy of Pediatrics, which considers as less than or equal to 1500 grams and 30 weeks of gestational age, and NNF guidelines says 1750 grams. But currently we consider 2000 gram as an eligibility criteria because of occurrence of treatable ROP or sight-threatening ROP in bigger babies in India, as demonstrated in studies. So to summarize, birth weight of less than 2000 grams or less, gestational age 34 weeks or less, some cases with the discretion of the treating neonatologist. First screening to be done within 30 days of birth, preferably in the SNCU, NICU, before discharge. And in cases with birth weight less than 1200 gram or gestational age less than 28 weeks, screening at 2 to 3 weeks after birth is recommended. And few sentences about awareness. We have observed a very poor awareness among healthcare providers as well. A study carried out at our institute, we found that poor awareness was among 55% of the interviewed pediatricians and 15% of interviewed ophthalmologists. That is regarding the screening guidelines. So we have to work in this direction for increasing the awareness. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doctor, to finish well before in time. We still have time for some questions if anybody would like to take, or I would request our chairpersons to introduce the next speaker.
Dr. Subhadra, can I ask you a question? What screening guidelines you use as far as age and birth weight at LV Prasad?
I think everyone should use only the Government of India Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyagram National Task Force guidelines, because they are the only ones which are going to stand in a court of law. That's the only one which is sort of given by the government directions, and I think it's best to use that. In case we are deviating from that guideline for any reason, for example, in some of the very high quality centers like Holiday Institute, they may not be seeing this type of babies. They may not be seeing very big babies with ROP because the quality of care is very good. If they change the guideline, then it should be endorsed by some committee or whatever, and then they should mention why it has been changed. But otherwise, basically, when we say these are national guidelines endorsed by Government of India, I don't think anybody should deviate from that. So everyone, even the National Neonatology Forum guideline, which was shown, that was the old guideline, which was released in 2010. Now this year, like last year, they have again revised their guidelines, and their guidelines are exactly what is given by the Government of India. So everybody should use that, encourage that, talk to your neonatologist and see that that guideline is only followed. It is available very freely on the RBSK website. For those who don't have it, it has both the newborn eye care guidelines, universal newborn eye care guideline, and the ROP guideline in the same document.